Good evening, crafters. In tonight's video, we're going to make some Christmas tags, and we're going to be using the Santa Delivery bundle that's made up of the Santa Delivery photopolymer stamp set in the Santa Train dies, and then we'll use the layering circle dies for the background. Then we have our caroling mice that we're going to do. In that we use the tailor-made tags for that background. The third one we're going to make, we use the Kindest Gnomes bundle. That's made up of the Kindest Gnomes and the Gnomes dies. And then we're using the deckled rectangle dies for the background. Our fourth one is the Christmas Lights bundle, and we're going to use this stamp right here from the Christmas Lights Cling Stamp set, and then this die from the Twinkling Lights dies. Our fifth one, we're going to use our Christmas pine cone dies. So we're going to use this die right here. We'll cut that down. We don't use the entire one. And then we use these small dies as well. And we'll build that up, make that tag. And we're going to use this from the seasoning label dies for that same tag. And for our last one, we're going to use the seasoning label dies, and we'll just use this die right here. So give me a few seconds so I can get these cleaned up and we can get started on our first tag. I'm going to cut these out using our cut and emboss machine. I've got the mini one, but the other tags I will have cut most of the things out. There's a few that I want to do because it'll be difficult without showing you. First we need is, for our basic white, we're going to use the largest circle die, and that's the scallop circle die. And then we'll use this for the background paper. This is the finished surface, and then this is the background. And I'm going to use this for the front of the circle, and I'll show you in just a second. This is from the Storybook Gnomes Designer Series paper. And I'm using that largest circle die. Got to get this done right, otherwise I'd be cutting into my top plate. I don't want to do that. So we need to stamp this, and I am going to use this to stamp. And we'll use our Memento ink in the Tuxedo Black. And then we're also going to use this for our clouds, our puffs of smoke actually. And then we are done with this for right now, so we'll close that up. And I am just going to stamp off. And then we will spray some mist on here. And we'll scrub these. We don't want to put these away dirty. What we want to do is color this in. And we're going to use our real red. And we're going to use the dark real red for the main part of the train. And I am going to fast forward this. I'm taking the light real red and pulling in it from the darkest part into the lighter part, blending that out. And I'm going to take my color lifter just to clean this up a little bit, because I want this to be a white cuff around his hand here. And a little bit on his beard I need to get out. And I'm just going to push it right back. We'll see that if I need to add more when it dries. Then we're going to take our basic black and do his mittens. And we've got our natural tone 7000 or 700 that I'm going to use for his face. And I think I'm going to flip it over to the paintbrush side so I can just touch it lightly. And I think I need to use this color lifter on his beard again. And if I can't get that to have a white cuff, I'll do it in pink, but we'll wait till the very end and see. So we'll want to, we're done with those colors. We'll want to use our light polished pink. And I'm going to use the nub. I think I can maybe use the paintbrush side now. And then we'll use the nub again to do his band on his head. I think that's good. And I'm going to bring in our Stampin' Emboss again. And I'm just going to use this Post-it note tape to hold it in place, because I'm going to cut out the other one at the same time. And I just want to make sure that I've got it lined up properly. And actually, I cut out the previous one and I hung on to this. So this will help me make sure I've cut it out properly. Because if I put this on here and make sure I can see what's there. Okay. So I'm just going to tape it from the template there. And let's see if I can't get that. And taping it down there to the paper below. So that should stay in place. I want to adjust it a little bit though. Okay. And let's see if we can't get these on here. Must have done these too. That might help if I do the right ones. Let's see, another piece of tape. Okay. And then we're going to just cut those out. And here's our puffs of smoke. And here is our train engine. And And I forgot to put the forgot to put the die in there. That's why it didn't work. Well, let's try this and see if it works better with the die in there. Then we can do this other one, as long as we've got that in there. These are so tiny, it's hard to get them in place and then not have them move when you try to tape them down. Okay, now let's see if it works this time. Okay, that works a lot better. There we go. And then we should have one little puff of smoke here. Just getting my dies put back on here so I don't lose them. That's our tag that we've already done, and here is what we want to do. So this is the right side here. Nope, this is the right side and this is the wrong side. You can tell by the way this is cut. This is all smooth. I am going to put this inside here like that because I want to be able to have the to from on the back. So I'm going to glue this down, and we're using our multi-purpose glue, and I've got it in this little glue bottle here with a needle nose tip because that helps it give me finer precision when I'm going against some of these smaller pieces here. And I'm just going to put this just inside here. That seems to work. Then we're going to put some glue dots on this. Oh, I must have used this for something else, but we don't need to see that side, so we're good with that. Putting one up there, one up there, and I'll do one in the middle. I think that should be fine. So let's get our take your pick tool, and I'm just going to take off the cap and pull these paper backings off by just digging inside that foam and lifting the paper backing off. And then I'm just going to set this on here, somewhat of an angle. And then I'm going to punch a hole in this. Well, it turns out that I didn't clear my last 3 weeks of videos off of my camera, so I ran out of memory and it shut off before we finished taping this segment. So what I did is we were in the process of putting the hole in the top of the circle. And I've got this punch here, but it's no longer available. So just find your favorite punch and punch a hole in there. For the puffs of smoke, I used the small dimensionals, so there's one behind each of those. Then we took this baker twine and we put it through here. I'm going to have to show you when I make one on this. So we're just going to set those aside. Those are done. And so we're going to work on this one next. And this one has 2 cards, and they both are cut out with the tailor-made dies. And I use this die right here. And I've already got the pair set out. And then we're going to use the caroling mice, and I've got this sit here and this one here. And then we'll use this and this as well. And let me just put this over here, and we'll set that over there too. So I am going to ink this up, and I'm looking to make sure that there is nothing on this outer red rubber, because it would leave a mark where we didn't want it. And I'm going to put it on here, more to the left, and then toward the bottom, and I'm lowering it a little bit more than what I did the other one. I wanted to have more of the lantern behind this. So I'm hoping I've lowered it enough to get the lantern rather than having it in the hat. And I'm just going to stamp off and scrub. And then I can do this one, but if I do it right now, it's going to stamp right through the middle of our mouse. So I'm going to mask it off. And I've got the mask right here. And you're probably wondering what I used for that. And I used these removable labels. And I just stamped it with the image, and then I used my fussy cutting to trim it off. You can also use these sticky pads, and you want to make sure you have the part with the glue on it, that's part of the image, so you don't remove that, so it'll stick to the paper. Or we also have this masking paper, and I could have tried using this, but for the sake of time I didn't. I already had this already done before I'd gotten the masking paper. So we're going to go ahead and stamp the lantern then. We should have a little more lantern showing up at the top now. Here. And I'm just going to stamp off. And I'm using my Stampin' Scrub off camera to clean this up. The worst thing you can do is put a stamp away and then come dirty and then come back the next time and start using it, and it stamps the wrong color on your cardstock. So this is the second mask I've got, because what I want to do is I want to use our blending brushes to get the blue color on this paper, and then the yellow color for the lantern as well. So we've got our So Saffron. We're going to start with that. And I think I'm going to move this out of the way here. And I'm just going to have some right here just to get it started, and then move it on to here. And let's do that again. And I think that's good like that. Okay. Next we're going to use is our Starry Sky. And I'll put a little bit around the right side of this image. And I want to fade out toward the bottom. I don't want to have a lot of that color down here. We'll have most of it up toward the top of the card. All right, let's see how that looks. I've got a lot right here. I'd like to kind of get some of that blended off of here. All right. And then we're going to just close these up. I think we're good with that. I'm going to leave this open yet because we'll need to put a little bit on his, between his legs there. Oh, I like that. I'm going to take this and put just a little bit on here. And I'm going to take my color lifter and lift it off from these other pieces up here. So I'm just kind of lightening the color in there, because otherwise I'm going to have a really funny color for the leg there. So let's start with our dark red and our light red and get some coloring on here. We're going to use the dark red for the bow, and I'm just going to make it a solid color. I'm not going to do any shading. Then we're going to go in and we're going to use our light red around the scarf. I am going to take this right down here because I'm blending that blue up into here, and that's going to be a green color. Not so bad, but it will be darker in that area. And then we'll use our petal pink for the nose and the ear. And it's the inner part of his ear. We'll use our dark soft succulent for his coat and his hat. And then I'm just going to flip it over to the broad tip and just color in. I'm sorry if my head's getting in the way there. I think that's all I needed to do. And then we've got our dark saffron. I'm going to just do his pom-pom on the top of his hat. And I can see I'm missing some red there. So that's the dark real red. And then we're going to do a little bit of shading with the light so saffron and the dark so saffron. We're going to do the light so saffron inside the light section here. Then I'm going to take the dark so saffron and just give it a darker right in the middle part. And then we'll take the light so saffron, the blending tip, and just kind of blend that out just a hair. And I'm actually going to blend some of this too. Got a little more blue on this side than I would have liked. And I'm just going to rub it off in here because I don't want any blue on the inside of this. Okay. Next we'll take our light smoky slate and we're going to do the lantern and then the mouse. I think we've got him colored. Now we do want to put some snowflakes on him, so we're going to bring out our starry sky again. Forgot about the snowflakes. And I'm going to stamp off so they're not as bright. Okay, we're done with that. And I am just going to scrub this off. And so we also have our piles of snow at the bottom. And I am going to use this, the same thing as I did with the snowflakes. And I'm going to just stamp off so it's not quite so pronounced. So what we want to do next is, I keep forgetting, we're going to want to do our to and from, and we're going to use Starry Sky, but we're going to use it at full strength. There we go. Now I think we can put this away for good. Oh, and I just got it all over my hand there. Give me a second to wash that off. Well, I'm really doing wonderful with this. I forgot to turn it back on when I came back and finished this card. We used the Wink Estella, and I just paintbrushed it in each of these dots here. And I did some on here, following the arcs down here. Then we brought in our Starry Sky cardstock and our trim. So we've got this Simply Elegant trim, and it comes in silver or gold, and we're going to use the silver. And I got about 14 inches, maybe 15 inches here, and it's folded in half. And I'm just going to bring that to a point here and feed it through both of these holes. And then I'm going to open the loop up here so that I can feed this through. And I need to open it up because I'm not very good at that. Is it ambidextrous? I don't know how to say the word. So we're done with that now. And we're going to move on to the next card. In our next tag, we use the Kindest Gnomes bundle, and we use the gnome dies out of there. We use these feet, the hat, these two ovals, which happen to be the arms and the nose, and then the beard. And the rest we didn't use, and we didn't use anything from here either. But then we used the deckled rectangle dies. Luckily, the way things have been going, I went ahead and got all these cut out ahead of time. Here we have a hat, our feet, the beard, the arms, and then there are two rectangles. So I am just going to get rid of these for right now. And we can go ahead and start by gluing these two pieces together. And we'll use the smallest of the rectangle dies. And that's our deckled rectangle dies. And I'm just going to center that right on there. It's giving you about 1/4 of an inch for a border all the way around. You may notice I don't have the cutting dimensions in the comment section below. I basically have been using scraps, so I didn't put the cutting dimensions in there, but I will have the supply list, so you'll be able to know what you need for each tag. Then we want to take this and construct our body. So I am going to use glue dots to attach the beard to the hat, or attach the hat to the beard, whichever way you want to say it. I'm going to put the glue dot on the hat and here. and a glue dot on the other hat end. And this one kind of came over, so I'm just going to fold that over there. There's some indents there. I don't know if you can see them. And I'm going to just lay that right on there, because to me that's where it's supposed to go. Then we'll take our hands, and I am going to put those on with glue dots as well. It's easier for me to work it from it this way, because I want it to be coming out right where the beard ends. Actually, it's right where the beard starts. Two glue dots on his hips here. Okay. Then we're going to do a mini dimensional for the nose. Make sure we got that on the right side here. Actually, it's on the wrong side. It was meant as to putting it on the correct side. And then we're just going to put it right on there. Then we're going to put the bigger dimensionals on the back side here. And I'm going to put one on each of the legs here. And it's going to kind of hold everything together. And then we'll do the same thing with the hands. And make sure that one's not sticking out. I think it's just the paper that's sticking out. Okay. And we'll do one glue dot up here yet. I'm sorry, a dimensional up there yet. And I'm going to take my Take Your Pick tool and pull those backings off. And before I put it on here, I'm going to stamp this. And I'm going to use my to and from tag. And that I got right out of Making a Difference. And this is no longer available. So you'll have to find some to and from tags. I didn't have any in my supplies that were current, so I'm using these. So I'm going to do the to first, and then I'll do the from. And actually, I think I'm going to stamp it, or punch it out first before I do the from, so then I have my orientation of where it can go. And we used our Memento Tuxedo Black for that. And I'm going to just scrub this real quick. Now we can put this on here. And we just want to center them. Almost done. We have some more of that trim. Again, about 14 to 15 inches. And we're going to find the halfway mark on here. And we push it through from the front to the back. Make a loop out of that. And pull the rest of those pieces from the front through. Then we've got our tags all done. Tag number 4, we're using the Evening Evergreen cardstock in the Very Vanilla cardstock, along with the Christmas Lights Cling Stamp Set and the Twinkle Lights dies. And you can buy this as a bundle and save 10%. This is one we're going to actually use our cut and emboss machine, because it's a little difficult explaining how to do it versus showing you. So let me just get this out of the way. These are the pieces that we want to dye. And as you can see, I've got them taped together, making sure that it has the right spacing all the way around. So this is even, mostly even, all the way around. And I am just going to use our small cut and emboss machine. And I just need to trim this so it fits in here. And I'm going to lay it here. And I'm pressing the tape down on it. And this is tape that we used before. And it is called, let me find it. This is our Post-it tape, label covering up tape. And you can find this on Amazon. So I've got this in here. And I've got it so that it's even on both sides, and we're going to put our plate on top of it. And just push it back here, and we'll run it through. There we go. And then it leaves all this on our plate, so I'm going to scrub that off with our brush that comes with our Take Your Pick tool. Then we want to get cleaned out through here. And you can probably go through this. And I think I forgot that I normally run it through twice to make sure that these all get punched out so that you're not sitting here punching them out individually. So if you run it through twice, it'll be a cleaner cut. But it doesn't take a whole lot to clean it up either. There's a lot of indents in here, like little tiny stars and little circles, and they're only meant to be indented. And then there are those that are punched through. It's easier to look at it this way, and you can see if there's any more that we wanted to punch out. And there isn't any. We've got them all now. So I'm just going to put that up there, and I'm going to clean this off real quick. And I could have used this. Didn't think of that until just now. Until next, we want to use this, just the outer ring on the tree in the Very Vanilla. But before I do that, I want to stamp the Very Vanilla. And we're going to use our soft sea foam and the cling stamp of the tree. And I'm going to do it this way so it's easier to see when I've got it all taken care of. Less chance of getting that red rubber. And as you can see, I do have it on the red rubber, so let me just get my paper towel here and we'll clean that up. All right, I think we're good to go. So we're going to stamp it on here. And while we have it there, I'm going to go ahead and stamp it with our Evening Evergreen. I'm going to stamp the 2 first. Right about here. And then we're going to go ahead, and I'm stamping that off. And actually, I'm even going to scrub it off. Make sure that we don't have any residue, because it's going to be on the from. It's going to hit the paper. And so the from I'm going to do right down here. There. And now we'll bring in our cut and emboss machine. And then we're going to bring that outer frame of that tree. And we're going to tape it up on here, making sure we've got it all the way around. I'm going to take this off so I can see that portion up there. And then I'm just going to run it through here. Didn't quite get it quite right there, so let me just run that bottom section through again. And there it is. And then we should be able to just pop this out. Careful to get the paper off from here. Then we're going to line these up. No, let me finish cleaning this up here. Meant to do that before. Okay. So let's just line these up here at the top and use our punch to get that hole in there. And I'm just going to punch it right there. And I don't know where that flew to, but it's out of there. And then we just take some of our gold trim this time. Again, that is our elegant trim. Here it is. And we're pushing it through the front, making the hole bigger, and then we're going to just reach through and grab those strings that are left in the front. And there we have our to from. Card number 5, we're using this from the Seasonal Labels dies, and that's the only thing we're using from that. And then we're going to use Christmas Pinecone dies. And we're going to use this piece here, and we're cutting this out in Evening Evergreen. And this we're going to cut out with the craft paper. Then we're going to also use these dies here, and we'll cut those out in the Early Espresso. This piece here for the background, and this piece here for the background. And then this here, we're going to use a Distressed Gold specialty paper. And the rest we won't be using. Fortunately, I went ahead and die cut those, and I even glued 2 of the smaller ones because it's just the same step. So I've got that taken care of. We'll have to glue this, and we'll have to glue these here. So let's get this piece here first, and we're going to punch it so that we know where we're having our orientation for the leaves. And then we're going to take our leaves here, and I'm going to get rid of this paper here because we want to use our silicone mat for this project. And I don't know if you noticed, I have our Jingle Bell on there. That is our flat Jingle Bell trinkets, and I got 2 of them on there. Then I have this ribbon. I didn't have any of our ribbon. We do have some 1/4 inch ribbon, but I didn't have any of that, so I just had a piece at home that I used. So we've got this piece here that we cut out, and I think I've got it. Let's see. I'm going to see what I have left here. Yeah, so I cut it out this way, and we took this piece and we cut it and put it on here. So that's like this right now. So we've got this piece left that looks like I can do it in 2 different sections. So I think I'm going to do this one right here. So it looks like it's another corner piece. And I'm going to snip it right here and right here and right here and right here and right here. It looks like I got something else connected down here and right here. So we're going to use this piece here, and we can use this for another piece. So we'll set aside for another project. So then we just want to see how we want to put it on this piece. Kind of like it having it come from the corner. I think we can do it just like that. Now we'll open this up for the ribbon up here, and then we've got our to from down here. So yeah, I think that's good like that. How we're going to do that is we want to have glue on the back. We could take this and put dots on all over like this. Little dots. But to me, it's going to take forever. Then we have our adhesive paper. We would have had to attach that and then die cut it. Well, of course we didn't do that. So the next option we have is to use a sponge. So let me get our sponge. We used to sell these. It's a round piece that I cut into quarters. And I'm just going to put some glue up here. Before I do that, I want to make sure that I don't have any lint on here, or we'll have it all glued to our paper. And that looks like that's glued down there. Okay. So I'm going to just put some glue up here. And I'm going to dab this in here. And now if you remember, we wanted to have pine cones on here. And this leaf's on here. And these are going to stand out. So let's not put any glue on those outer leaves there, but we'll put the glue on here. The pine cones. And I'm going to put it down here. Give us some room to make sure we've got it on there right. So I've got it stuck down pretty good there. And there really isn't any glue sticking out. A couple pieces here. So I'm just going to let that dry. I'll leave that stick on there a little bit. Then we want to do our pine cones. And like I said, I've already got these done. So those will go here and here. But we'll do this one first before we do that. And so we want to, again, go back into our glue. I'm going to get these out of the way. We already got these cut out, so we don't need to hang on to them. Okay, so I'm going to give us a little more glue here. Don't need a whole lot. So we've got our brown piece here, and then the gold, distressed gold piece. And we're going to match it up at the bottom. I found it works best to work from the bottom. And then these branches just kind of fall into place from that point forward. And I'm going to flip it over, make sure we've got it going right. Then we can just simply use this as the glue from this point forward. I'm going to put it on here. I'm trying to match it up. I don't think I had any glue down there. Let me get that. Yeah, I overglued it. And we'll do glue here. And I think these are identical. They look identical to me, so I am just going to put this one down here. Looks like it wants to tuck underneath, so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to stick it underneath here again. Let's see, where do we want to put our ribbon and where do we want our bells to be? So if we have the ribbons, bells right here, and the ribbon, I'm going to use this white one temporarily. Yeah, I think we'll bring it up to right about here. And we'll put our ribbon right there. Okay. So I'll use glue dots to put the bells on. And I'll just put one glue dot right up here. See, so I have it right on that section there. And we'll do the same thing to the other glue dot. Ooh, I'm almost out. Looks like I am out on this one. Oops, sorry about that. There. And then we've got our ribbon. So what I like to do with the ribbon is find the mid section and just put my tweezers on there. That gives me something to tie into. And then I'm just basically going to tie my shoe. So then I got a loop there, and then I go right over left and under. Then we just bring these down. I'm going to put a glue dot on the back, and I'm actually going to probably put 2 on there. Looks like 1 was going to work. And I'm just going to finish squeezing this off here. Trying to get it to make a big loop there. Then we'll trim the ends. All right. Then we have one more thing to do, is our gold ribbon. And that's our gold trim that we've been using. The Simply Elegant trim, we're using the gold. Find the middle section. Bring it to a point. Pull it in from the front. Pull it over the front section. And there we go. Oh, I almost forgot we didn't do the to from, so let's get that done on here. And we'll use the Early Espresso ink for that. For our last tag, we're going to use the Seasonal Labels dies. And we're going to use this one right here. And then we're going to use this Christmas Lights Cling Stamp set. We're going to use both of these arcs. And I have them right here. And the paper we're going to use is the Starry Skies. And we've got, this one is very vanilla. This one is real red. And both of those use gold embossing powder. And this one is our basic white with the silver embossing powder. And we're going to use silver embossing powder on this. Let me get my paper back in here. We can do this side because it'll make a mess here. So what we want to do first is stamp the arc from here to here and from here to here. So we're going to use this one that is the stars. And I'm going to get our dusting powder here first. Yes, our silver embossing powder we're going to use. And I probably really made a mess of that, resting it on there. So let me get my paper towel and just clean this off. It was all on the red rubber. I think I got it off from there now. I'm going to have the arc go this way, right up into the corners there. Sorry if my head's in the way. I just need to get above it. Make sure I'm getting it in the right position. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Just making sure I don't have any on the red. And I do. So I'm going to go and dust that off there. And we're going to do the same thing as we did up there. And I need to check to make sure I've got it in the right position. And then we're going to put it in our dusting powder. And we'll get the other side. And I'm going to use this finer paintbrush. I've got this the package from Stampin' Up where you get this larger paintbrush, but I have, these are smaller areas that I want to get it from. And I'm just dusting off anything that looks like it doesn't belong. And we'll just check the back. That looks good. And then this was also in that same package. Then we're going to heat emboss this. And I'm going to apologize, it's going to be loud. But I want to show you, at least this first one, how quickly it will heat up. It's going to get really shiny here, and then it's going to go along the way. I also like to do it on the back. There you can see how it's getting shiny. I think that's done. So then we're going to come in and we're going to stamp the next one. And it's this one here, and I'm going to stamp it on both sides of this banner here. One there and one down here. And I'll do the same thing on the top portion too. And I just want to make sure that I don't have this stripe going on there, so I'm going to wipe it off. And make sure there's not one on this side too. And I'm going to take it like right into the stars there. So I don't see most of the stars. And it's just put a line right along the edge there. It's a little closer than what I wanted it to be, but that's okay. And I'm just making sure that there isn't any there. And I'm going to go above the stars. And I'm sorry about my head. How to do it without going in and taking a good look at it. And I definitely got it on the red rubber here. At least it's uniform. Okay, we're going to need that yet. And I am just putting these in my Stampin' Scrub until we get this done. So I am going to go and put this some dusting powder on there. As you can see, there must have been a little bit of on the red rubber because there was a line there. And I'm able to dust it off, so. Don't see it on the other side. So it must have been the last one we did. So we're going to go back and use our heat tool. It's already done on the right, and it's almost done on the left already. And then we want to do our to and our from. So I think I'm going to use the from first. I'm going to put it down here. Then I'm just going to use my Stampin' Scrub on that. The last thing is I want is to repeat the from. There. And then we're just going to put that in our powder again. And we'll dust off the rest of it. The from doesn't look quite right. It looks like it's going to be pretty heavy in the silver. Let me see if I can't use this. Well, I think it turned out okay. I'm just going to cap this off and close up our dusting powder before we spill that. So let's bring these back in here. So now we could punch them at the top if you'd like and put a ribbon on them. But I chose to put a band on the back of our tear and tape. So I've got it there, there, and there. And I put it on in two places because I'm not sure how they want to attach it to their package. They may want to just attach it at the top part, or they may need both to reinforce it. So I put two pieces on there. So we'll do the same thing with this one. And we want to do it down here. So we've got, there we go. Now let's bring in all of those. Thanks for staying with me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. As you can see, you could probably turn just about any stamp or die into a tag. So you probably have a lot that you could use with what you have there. Why don't you give it a try? Now, if you enjoyed today's video, would you do me two favors? Click the thumbs up emoji. That means you like it. And would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you have any questions, be sure to contact me. I'm here to help in any way that I can. And if you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to my website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. Bear with me a little bit longer because I want to let you know of the promotion going on right now. Last Chance Products promotion is now live. Stock up on your favorite products before they're gone for good. Save up to 60% on essential craft supplies. What are you waiting for? Start shopping. For more information about Last Chance products, check out the comments section below. Don't forget to check out the clearance rack. New items have been added to the clearance rack in the online store. Supplies are limited, and with the discounts up to 60%, products will go quickly. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Saturday, December 10th at 7 p.m. Central Time, and we'll be doing another holiday card. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.